One person dies every 34 seconds from heart disease. That is equivalent to about 900,000 people per year. In 2024, the Center for Disease and Prevention Control reported that heart disease is the leading cause of death among men, women, and groups of racial and ethnic groups. No one knows when they'll die, but if you could prevent at least one way, wouldn't you try? Hi, my name is Christian Flor, and as someone who's been dealing with the risks of heart disease, I'm here to talk to you about the benefits of owning a dog for your health. First, I'd like to talk about what heart disease is and why you should be afraid of getting it. Next, I'd like to talk about the benefits of owning a dog for your health. And lastly, I'll talk about the long term benefits that come with owning a dog. But first, what is heart disease? The CDC defines heart disease as a term used to describe multiple heart conditions. However, the most common one is coronary artery disease, which is also the leading cause of death in the US. According to the CDC, there are multiple risks affiliated with heart disease, but the most common ones are high cholesterol levels and high levels of stress. The National Institute of Health also often cites poor diets as a leading contributor, which has caused the death of 17.9 million people worldwide. This is mainly due to the fact that high intakes of processed food can increase your chances of developing coronary artery disease by as much as 42%. National Library of Medicine also researched people and found people with high levels of stress or a history of depression are 62% more likely to develop this disease as well. Since 75% of adults in the US already deal with chronic stress, anxiety, or depression, this makes the risk of coronary artery disease very common in the US. One of the most effective ways to deal with this risk is by playing with animals, more specifically dogs. Dogs can reduce the risk of coronary artery disease by promoting physical activity. Since they are naturally playful animals, they require constant exercise, which helps promote physical activity within a naturally lazy person. This also helps to lower the blood cholesterol levels to a safe amount, which can massively reduce this risk. Dogs can also diminish the risk of coronary artery disease by suppressing negative emotions. According to the American Heart Association, when they conducted research and found when playing with dogs, people experience chemicals oxytocin and dopamine, which create the positive feelings we experience. Since stress, anxiety, and depression can all cause or depression can all raise blood pressure, but are suppressed when dogs are present. This means that dogs can lower blood pressure and can also decrease the risk of this heart disease. As it's been shown, dogs can reduce a risk of a person developing this disease. However, even if you're not a person that's at high risk for the disease, there are still a multitude of health benefits that can benefit your long term health. Dogs can benefit your long term health by increasing your life expectancies. Since dogs provide mental and physical benefits, this can minimize the risks of fatal heart attacks. Dogs help promote daily exercise, which over the course of many years can help lower blood cholesterol levels and massively reduces the risk of fatal heart attacks. Since although stress, anxiety, and depression are often linked with mental health, they can also affect your physical health by raising your blood pressure, which can become more dangerous as you get older. But because dogs are capable of reducing all three, this reduces stress, which in turn can also increase your life expectancy by reducing the risk of heart attacks. The American Heart Association also conducted a research and found that dog owners are 24% more likely to survive a fatal heart attack than non dog owners. Now that you know the ways that dogs can help you, why not learn about some ways you can help them? As a quick refresher, coronary artery disease is the leading cause of death in the US. This is caused by poor diets, stress, anxiety, depression, and lack of physical activity. However, dogs decrease depression, anxiety, and stress, And additionally, they can all since they are naturally active animals, they can also promote physical exercise. This helps to this helps to lower blood cholesterol levels and blood pressure to a safe amount, which reduces the risk of developing heart disease. As a result of these benefits, your long-term health significantly improves, which can also improve your life expectancy. At this point, many of you may be tempted to go to your local dog store and buy yourself a new dog or puppy. However, I urge you instead to go to your local adoption center and get a rescue dog instead. These dogs are just as good as any other dogs, but because they've been abused or abandoned, nobody wants them, and as such, they're at risk of being put down. Since these dogs may be traumatized, they may not trust you right away. However, I urge you to keep reaching out to them, as perhaps with enough love and care, you may help save their lives in the same way they may be able to help save yours.